All right, Nick, let's talk about the New York Jets. The Jets seem to be just one big quarterback away from making deep playoff pushes year after year, and they have been on the hunt this season looking for that guy. I think the latest update from down at the combine will be huge for the New York Jets.
Yeah, Miles, I agree with you. But before we get into that story, Jets fans, we're talking about the Jets potentially addressing the quarterback position this offseason. When you think New York Jets and you think quarterback, you think Joe Namath, the original, in my opinion, the original New York Jet, the guy who put the franchise on the map. But I want to ask you guys to answer in the comment section below. Give us who you think your quintessential New York Jet is. The one guy you love to watch, the one guy you think embodied everything it meant to be a New York Jet, a guy you were really excited to see throughout his time playing with the Jets. And let us know who that guy is in the comment section below. But all right, Miles, what you got? What's the latest with the Jets?
Yeah, Nick. And when we say that there's some news about the Jets and the quarterback out of the combine, we're not talking about them drafting anybody. We're talking about, of course, the rumor that everybody has been talking about. Everyone knows about this already, and that is Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. There seems to be some mutual interest between the two parties, but that's kind of heated up a little bit here as of late when Daniel Jeremiah and Rich Eisen on their show going over the combine as it goes live. They said that they have heard some things in the halls of the combine. Daniel Jeremiah says that he strongly believes he thinks Aaron Rodgers will be a Jet, and he added on top of that he thinks it could take less than a first round pick for them to get him.
Wow.
So that's pretty big news. That'd be a pretty good deal for the New York Jets to be able to keep a first round pick and get Aaron Rodgers. That would be huge for them. What do you think about this news, Nick? Obviously, we know there's mutual interest between the parties, but I mean, this sounds really good for the Jets, doesn't it?
It almost sounds too good because it's totally perfect because it's one of those things. It's a basic law of economics: demand drops, price drops. So it looks like all reports out of Green Bay that the Packers want to move on to Jordan Love or whoever. They don't want to deal with Aaron Rodgers anymore. Andrew Brandt, a former Packers insider, a longtime guy in the business of football, understands a lot of these things, has good contacts with the Packers, has come out and basically said right now the Packers and Rodgers are just looking at a way to make the PR publicly look like an amicable separation. And then you pair that with the fact that according to Vic Tafur over at the Athletic said that the Raiders have bowed out of the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes as well. It looks like that the Jets are the only serious player still left, still interested in Aaron Rodgers. And when demand drops, the price drops. So the fact that they could potentially get Aaron Rodgers, and I agree with Daniel Jeremiah here, for only a second round pick is a massive steal. Obviously, Rodgers at the end of his career can still play at a very high level, and he is basically the one missing piece on this Jets team to push them over the hump and probably be the best team in that division, in my opinion, or at least compare at the top of it with the Buffalo Bills. So this kind of report, this kind of development here is an outstanding sign for the Jets going forward.
Yeah, and we look at the other thing that is going on. The only other guy really competing with Aaron Rodgers right now in the free agency market would be Derek Carr, but it seems all signs are pointing Derek Carr and the Saints are lining up like very good match there as well. So, like you said, the demand for Rodgers may be going down a little bit. There's only a couple teams left on that market, so the price is going to go down some. And I think that second round pick would be very, very good. And more importantly, I think that Rodgers would be happy playing for the Jets, especially if they maybe keep that first round pick, spend it on another O lineman, potentially beef that offensive line up. He's got some very good weapons. You look at Moore, you look at Garrett Wilson, two young guys. He's got the young stud running back in Breece Hall, but that defense is the real thing. Rodgers had a good defense in Green Bay, and that's kept them in the hunt for a while now. But now we look at this Jets defense, which I'd arguably say is like a few rungs higher than what the Packers defense is. And that's going to help him out tremendously, be able to get him back on the field, scoring more points with a substantially upgraded offensive weaponry around the ball. So I really think it's a match made in heaven. And I hope all of these things come to a head because there's so many storylines floating out there. It feels like just the first one to fall and everything's going to start coming back down to earth. So I think that will be the big one, and I think this is potentially the one that goes first.
Yeah, and just to back up the report even more, I think this is interesting. I just saw it flash in front of my screen here. So the fact that Daniel Jeremiah, working with NFL Network, actually worked for Joe Douglas back in the day. So this isn't just something he's just making up out of thin air. He does have good contacts related to the New York Jets. So that's a great sign going forward for the Jets that they can get this deal done. And I love the fact they would only give up a second round pick for him, because you look at teams last offseason with Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, those teams desperate for quarterbacks. They gave up so much, right? We're going to wait to see how those returns pair out. The Jets could potentially get Aaron Rodgers again at the end of his career, but still, I put him ahead of Russell Wilson, put him ahead of Deshaun Watson, and they would only have to give up a second round pick for him. That would be an absolute monster move for the Jets.